The 4th of July BBQ at my parents' house was an annual tradition. Burgers, beer, and Dad complaining about my life choices to anyone who'd listen. Jake's still doing the gaming thing, Dad told the Hendersons from next door, flipping burgers. 26 years old. Plays video games 16 hours a day. I don't live in your basement, I said from the picnic table. I have my own apartment downtown. Studio apartment, Mom corrected. Barely 400 square feet. Mr. Henderson nodded sympathetically. What field are you looking in, Jake? I'm not looking, I said. I have a career. Dad laughed sharply. Playing video games isn't a career. It's arrested development. Professional gaming, I clarified. Esports. That's not a real thing, Dad said. Real sports are football, baseball, basketball. Not sitting in a chair pressing buttons. Esports has larger viewership than most traditional sports, I said. Last year's League of Legends World Championship had 140 million viewers. Made up numbers, Dad dismissed. Nobody's making real money playing games. Mrs. Henderson tried diplomacy. I'm sure some people make a little money from YouTube or whatever. A little money, Mom agreed. But Jake treats it like a full-time job. He practices 8 hours daily. That's my training schedule, I said. Professional athletes train 8 hours daily too. You're not a professional athlete, Dad said firmly. When are you going to get serious? Get a degree? Find a real career? I have benefits, I said. Health coverage. Retirement contributions. Performance bonuses. Silence. Then Dad laughed. Stop lying to impress the neighbors. You don't have any of that. My contract includes comprehensive benefits, I said. With Team Apex. Never heard of them, Dad said. One of the top 3 sports organizations globally, I said. Jake lives in a fantasy world, Dad told Mr. Henderson. He's convinced himself that playing games is a career. My phone buzzed. Text from my manager, Christine. ESPN interview airs in 20 minutes. Your parents watching? Me having a barbecue? Probably not. Christine, this could be educational for them. I checked the time. 6:41 p.m. Jake, are you on your phone during a family barbecue? Mom asked. Work message, I said. Work, Dad said sarcastically. What work? Actually, there's something you should see, I said. Can we go inside and turn on ESPN? There's a segment at 7 about esports. I'm not interested in video game propaganda, Dad said. 20 minutes, I said. Then if you still think it's nonsense, I'll drop it. Dad sighed. Fine. 20 minutes. We moved inside, parents and the Hendersons. Dad turned on ESPN. 6:58 p.m. A commercial ended. ESPN logo appeared. The host spoke. Welcome to SportsCenter Special Edition. Tonight we're exploring esports. A billion-dollar industry redefining professional athletics. Dad snorted. Billion-dollar industry. Sure. The screen showed massive stadiums packed with fans. Last year, global esports revenue exceeded $1.4 billion. Prize pools now rival traditional sports. And the athletes competing are signing contracts worth millions. Millions, Dad repeated skeptically. The host continued. Tonight, we profile one of North America's top esports athletes. At 26, he's earned over $3 million in tournament winnings, holds 2 world championship titles, and just signed the largest individual player contract in esports history. The screen showed gameplay footage. Me playing League of Legends at last year's World Championship. My in-game name, Apex under Phoenix, displayed clearly. That's. Mrs. Henderson started. Meet Jake Morrison, professional League of Legends player for Team Apex. The screen filled with my face from an interview. Mom's hand went to her mouth. Dad's beer can nearly slipped from his grip. Jake, when did you know gaming could be a career? The ESPN interviewer asked. I started competing at 17, on screen me said. Won my first tournament, $5,000, at 18. That's when I realized this could be more than a hobby. You've won 2 world championships. Prize money from those wins alone exceeds $2 million. But your recent contract is making headlines. It's a 4-year contract, on screen me explained. Base salary of $800,000 annually. Performance bonuses tied to tournaments. Revenue sharing from merchandise and streaming. Total package value, $6.2 million over 4 years. The living room went silent. $6.2 million, the interviewer repeated. For playing video games. For competing at the highest level, I corrected on screen. League of Legends has 180 million monthly players. Only about 200 compete professionally worldwide. It's incredibly selective. The interview showed tournament victories, earnings graphics, comparisons to traditional athlete contracts. Jake's also one of the most popular streamers, the interviewer said. His Twitch channel has 2.4 million followers. His YouTube has 3.1 million subscribers. Combined content generates approximately $400,000 annually, separate from his Team Apex salary. More silence. What do you say to people who think gaming isn't a real career? The interviewer asked. On screen me smiled. I've made over $4 million in 6 years doing what I love. I have health insurance, retirement savings, and financial security. If that's not a real career, I don't know what is. The segment ended. Dad turned off the TV. Nobody spoke. Mr. Henderson broke the silence. Jake, was that actually you? Yes, I said. You're making $800,000 a year? Base salary. With bonuses and streaming, closer to $1.3 million annually. Mom made a choked sound. Why didn't you tell us? I did tell you, I said. I told you I was a professional gamer with a Team Apex contract. You called it made up and fantasy. We didn't know, Dad said weakly. You didn't ask, I corrected. You decided gaming couldn't be real and stopped listening. Mrs. Henderson stared at her husband. He's making more than you do, honey. Dad stood, paced to the window, paced back. 6.2 million. That's real. Over 4 years, yes. Some players make more. The top Korean player just signed for $10 million over 3 years. 10 million, Mom whispered. To play video games. To compete at the highest level of a sport with 180 million participants, I said. The same way LeBron makes millions playing basketball. I told everyone you were unemployed, Mom said, horror in her voice. At church, at the salon. I said you were struggling. I know, I said. The neighbors, Dad said slowly. Everyone on this street. I've been telling them you're a failure for 2 years. I know. Why didn't you show us this before? Dad demanded. Because you wouldn't have believed it was real, I said. You needed to see it on ESPN, a source you trust, to believe it. Mr. Henderson stood. We should go. Let you talk privately. The neighbors left, whispering. When the house was empty, Dad sat heavily on the couch. You're making more money than I've ever made, he said. Why live in a studio apartment? Because I travel constantly, I said. Tournaments in Korea, China, Europe. I'm home maybe 120 days a year. A studio is all I need. You do stay with us sometimes, Dad said. When I'm training locally. I pay rent. $1,000 monthly to your account for 3 years. Dad pulled out his phone, checking. His face went pale. Those deposits, from an LC, that's been you? Yes. We thought it was a bank error, Mom said faintly. I laughed. You've been receiving my rent and thought it was an error? Video games and millions just don't go together in our minds, Mom said. So you decided I was failing instead of asking, I said. That was your choice. Dad put his head in his hands. Everyone thinks you're a loser because I told them you were. Yes. How do I fix this? You can't, I said. You can tell the truth now, but they'll remember 2 years of mockery. Will you forgive us? Mom asked. Eventually. But right now, I'm processing 6 years of being told my career was fake while making millions. My phone rang. Christine. Jake, the segment is trending. Your followers are up 40,000 in an hour. Team Apex wants to renegotiate. The publicity value exceeded projections. Good. Can we talk tomorrow? Of course. Congratulations. You're officially mainstream now. I hung up. That was your manager? Dad asked. Yes. Do you have an agent? Like real athletes. Agent, manager, financial advisor, personal trainer, I said. Because I'm a real athlete. I'm sorry, Dad said. Genuinely sorry. I thought I was pushing you toward success when you'd already achieved it. You were pushing me toward your definition of success, I said. That's not my path. But it's still successful. Mom wiped her eyes. What do we tell people? The truth, I said. That your son is a professional athlete with a multi-million-dollar contract. That you didn't understand and said hurtful things. That you're sorry. 3 months later, Dad stopped constant apologizing. He started watching my matches, asking about strategy. Mom joined my Twitch streams, learning gaming terms. Last week I bought them a house. 4 bedrooms, paid cash. You didn't have to, Dad said when I handed him the deed. I wanted to, I said. You're my parents. I love you. Even when you didn't believe, I still loved you. We believe now, Mom said. I know. But I didn't do this because you believe. I did it because it's right. My contract renegotiation finalized yesterday. 5 years, $12 million guaranteed. Dad texted, saw the announcement. Proud of you, son. 6 years and an ESPN interview later he finally said it. Better late than never. Dad put his head in his hands. Everyone thinks you're a loser because I told them you were. Yes. How do I fix this? You can't, I said. You can tell the truth now, but they'll remember 2 years of mockery. Will you forgive us? Mom asked. Eventually. But right now, I'm processing 6 years of being told my career was fake while making millions. My phone rang. Christine. Jake, the segment is trending. Your followers are up 40,000 in an hour. Team Apex wants to renegotiate. The publicity value exceeded projections. Good. Can we talk tomorrow? Of course. Congratulations. You're officially mainstream now. I hung up. That was your manager? Dad asked. Yes. Do you have an agent? Like real athletes. Agent, manager, financial advisor, personal trainer, I said. Because I'm a real athlete. I'm sorry, Dad said. Genuinely sorry. I thought I was pushing you toward success when you'd already achieved it. You were pushing me toward your definition of success, I said. That's not my path. But it's still successful. Mom wiped her eyes. What do we tell people? The truth, I said. That your son is a professional athlete with a multi-million-dollar contract. That you didn't understand and said hurtful things. That you're sorry. The Hendersons already know, Dad said quietly. They saw everything. They'll tell the whole neighborhood by tomorrow, I said. Saves you the effort. Dad looked at me carefully. Are you angry with us? I admitted. For years. Every time you told someone I was unemployed, every time you suggested I get a real job, every time you dismissed my tournaments as playing games. Yes, I was angry. And now? Mom asked. Now I'm just tired, I said. Tired of fighting for validation from people who should have given it freely. I proved myself to the world before I could prove myself to you. That's backwards. We should have listened, Dad said. Yes, I agreed. You should have. 3 months later, Dad stopped constant apologizing. He started watching my matches, asking about strategy. He learned the difference between support and carry roles, understood what ganking meant, cheered when I secured Baron Nashor. Mom joined my Twitch streams occasionally, reading chat comments and learning gaming terminology. She started telling her book club friends about esports with genuine pride instead of apologetic embarrassment. The neighborhood dynamics shifted. Mr. Henderson stopped giving career advice. Mrs. Henderson asked if I could talk to their son about pursuing unconventional careers. Other neighbors who'd pitted my unemployment suddenly wanted to discuss investment strategies. Last week I bought my parents a house. 4 bedrooms, nice neighborhood, paid cash. You didn't have to, Dad said when I handed him the deed. I wanted to, I said. You're my parents. I love you. Even when you didn't believe, I still loved you. We believe now, Mom said, tears streaming. I know. But I didn't do this because you believe. I did it because it's right. My contract renegotiation finalized yesterday. 5 years, $12 million guaranteed, plus performance bonuses that could push it to $18 million. Dad texted, saw the announcement. Proud of you, son. 6 years and an ESPN interview later he finally said it. Better late than never.